Stocks have influencers. The BAV, the company pension scheme, has legal paragraphs. That's what Catherine Laser writes on LinkedIn, basically complaining that not enough people explain the BAV. But in fact, with the BAV, the problem really is the legal paragraphs. For example, the so-called Company Pensions Act. Because who among you, if you have a company pension scheme, can really say what exactly happens with the money, what will come out of it later, how it is invested? There's way too much bureaucracy involved, and that's ultimately the result of far too many interest groups having a hand in shaping these laws. And that's a classic example where bureaucracy once again proves that too many cooks spoil the broth, because in the end, the company pension scheme could be so great. You put money in, tax-free, free of social security contributions, and you could earn a lot more returns with it, even more than with an ETF savings plan. And then, in the end, less tax and fewer social security contributions would be deducted. And the whole thing would really pay off, for example, for people with below-average incomes. But in Germany, it's just not set up that well. And if you look at other countries, for example, the Netherlands or the UK, where company pension schemes play a much bigger role. Why are we so interested? Why are so many people fans of ETF savings plans? Because it's simple, because it's transparent, because you can see what happens with your money and how much return it's generating at any time. We're a long way from that with company pension schemes. The first thing would be to move away from guarantees so that you could really save in stocks long-term with a company pension plan. But that's just not the case with company pensions today because we approach it far too paternalistically, saying, oh, the employer has to look after their employees. Yes, there has to be care taken about what happens with the money. We don't place enough emphasis on individual freedom in Germany. The funny thing is there is actually a company pension plan in Germany now where you could, for example, save purely in stocks with no guarantee. But it basically doesn't exist in practice because it gets completely lost in all the bureaucratic jungle. A great reform that ultimately isn't implemented at all. We're missing out on a huge opportunity here because for many people, especially those with lower incomes, a significant part of the pension gap could be closed profitably through an occupational pension plan, for example, by investing in ETFs. But I really don't see any real wave of reform coming from the politicians.